Well, we have a lot to go over because the premiere for Rise of Skywalker has come and gone. The social media embargo for the people that were there has been lifted. We have reactions. We have Reddit leaks. All kinds of stuff that's been confirmed. This is going to be a spoiler-filled video, by the way, for those of you that want me to tell you that. So if you're not interested in those, don't listen to the video because you're going to hear them. The first thing I want to go over, though, is this. Because George Lucas wasn't at the Rise of Skywalker premiere. Isn't that interesting? You know, there were pictures of him even at Solo. He wasn't there for this one. And that's kind of telling. A lot of speculation there. Why wasn't George Lucas at this premiere? I'm really kind of shocked because he's made it for everything else. He was even on the set for The Mandalorian. He was on the set for that movie. Wasn't at this. And that kind of says a lot, doesn't it, that he wasn't there? Because, well, he's been saying a few interesting things lately, like Palpatine was definitely gone. He wasn't alive. They brought him back. Stuff like that. Some implied things that he wasn't really happy with the direction of these movies and this one. So he just didn't want to go, or he wasn't invited. It's one or two. Because there's no reason for him not to have been there. And I can't believe the press isn't making a big deal about this. But, I mean, who's kidding? Of course they wouldn't, because the shills are going to shill. And I wonder if he didn't want to show up, maybe because the leaks were all true. The leaks were all true. We know this because there's even more confirmation now, by the way, thanks to Reddit. And people that were at the movie apparently were tweeting out pictures of it. I'm not going to show you the pictures. I will describe them. Because if you remember, Disney is kind of dumb and doesn't understand when they go taking down these pictures with copyright, that they confirm them. And the movie hasn't officially came out yet. It's not going to be out for the public for another 2 days. So if they take this video down, it would be confirmed. But I don't feel like going through the hassle of it. So I'm just going to describe them. We have the opening crawl, which is complete cringe, by the way. Let me go ahead and read this for you. Here's the complete opening crawl. Are you ready? The dead speak. The galaxy has heard a mysterious broadcast, a threat of revenge in the sinister voice of the late Emperor Palpatine. General Leia Organa dispatches secret agents to gather intelligence, while Rey, the last hope of the Jedi, trains for battle against the diabolical First Order. Meanwhile, Supreme Leader Kylo Ren rages in search of the Phantom Emperor, determined to destroy any threat to his power. Of course, this all lines up with what we've seen in the recent TV spot. Now, the images are what's really interesting here. We have pretty much pictures of the yellow lightsaber, Rey holding the yellow lightsaber. That's now confirmed. That's more leaks confirmed right there. We've got her on Tatooine with BB-8 watching the binary sunset, which it looks like she's at Luke's old place, by the way. I'd like to point that out. It's almost a copy and paste of that scene. And then we have pictures of the Wayfinder and the Sith holocron. We've got the two lightsabers. The interesting stuff are the leaked pictures of the Emperor, which lines up with stuff we've heard Doomcock say, by the way. Hail Doomcock, who's been vindicated more and more over this past week, which has been great. That man's credit score has went up big time this week. While everyone that said he was a liar, their scores have gone down drastically. Now, let's get on to some other stuff here. The Emperor, by the way, I did want to talk about that. So, the Emperor, he's in a chair in two scenes that are leaked, and it looks like he's hooked up to medical devices. It kind of does look like he's attached to something, and he kind of looks like a corpse. That was the thing. Like you can't see his eyes. His eyes are either closed or there's no pupil. Now, if you remember, the rumor was that he was like a lifeless body hooked up to machines, and then he's, of course, going to force drain them and become youthful or something again. There's a picture of him with his face open where he looks more alive. Now, this could just be maybe they caught him with his eyes closed, but by looking at the details of the machine, I think that it's confirmed like he's pretty much lifeless, kind of anchored. His soul's anchored to the body that's barely being kept alive. He's going to force drain them and get re-energized. That's going to be the plot. All of those Reddit leaks, they're all true. This movie is a disaster. And maybe that's why George wasn't there. We've got leaks too, by the way. Since the social media embargo has lifted, the shills are coming out. Some of them, I want to point out, aren't very happy. We've got shills that are upset. So if you want to see those pictures for yourself, go to my Twitter, at YellowFlashGuy. I've retweeted them. You can see the images all for yourself. It's bad. So let's look at reactions from the shills. How are they feeling about it? Because I want to point out, the people that were at the premiere, these are the shillest of the shills. These are the people that should be hyped for it, excited, the ones that are going to be out there kind of just waving their lightsabers around, running around in Star Wars undies. These are the hardcore shillers. Going right here, he was invited, Scott Mendelson, I'm sure you know who he is. He says, so, hashtag the Rise of Skywalker. In the end, it was Star Wars fans that killed Star Wars. This guy says, can you say something that makes sense? He responds, it's a bad movie. Why are some of these shills saying, in the end, Star Wars fans killed Star Wars? Let me tell you why. Because of this long, for what, 2 weeks now, the media has been defending The Last Jedi. Big time. Why is that? Because it was super, progressive and all that stuff. It had all the messaging that they wanted, and fans came out against it. And the big takeaway from what we've seen is this movie is full of fan service. Well, it's attempted fan service, and they don't like that, and that's one of the reasons that they're going against it. We can go over to his next tweet where he says, at worst, I expected The Rise of Skywalker to be a well-made movie that I didn't like or whose story choices I disagreed with. I was not expecting a genuinely bad movie with video game plotting, thin characters, weak action, and endless exposition of no consequence. Heartbreaking.
Oh, wait, you serious? Let me laugh even harder.
Oh, and the Reylo thing, absolutely true. Remember, I did a video on this, I think last week. Reylo is an actual endorsed Disney hashtag. That's why it has the emoji next to it. By the way, the trending thing is a misprint. The Rise of Skywalker. Do you notice that the Y is missing? It's a typo. That's what's trending right now, not the real one with the dual lightsabers. But if you look at the shipping Reylo hashtag, it has the dueling lightsaber. That means that it's endorsed by Disney. It confirmed to me that the Reylo ship was real in the movie and that they were going to have that. So if you don't know, one of the leaks, as far as I know, and can say, all of those leaks have pretty much been confirmed right now. All the stuff over on Reddit, a lot of the stuff that Doomcock just talked about, all confirmed. And we have another thing right here. No spoilers. I cried, and The Rise of Skywalker has the best no-sex love scene I've seen in a long while. What is she talking about? Well, she's talking about the kiss that Kylo and Rey shared when Kylo gives his life for Rey to come back from the dead. Because he does some force bond trick where he gives her his life force. That's the leak she's talking about. Right there. Confirmed.
You can't stop me. I'm a Jedi from Jakku.
Saw Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers retweeted this one, so I wanted to go ahead and go over this. There is good in Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker, but there is more that is disappointing. There are a number of choices that just don't track fan service that doesn't work and ignore details that are missed. I'm bummed. The seams from Disney's Star Wars director changes, rushed production schedules, etc. are still present in Rise of Skywalker, but most fun, gorgeous, rewarding of the films. Not sure Palpatine Empire needed third trilogy, but what matters is conclusion of Kylo Rey. It delivers. Now we have a pure shill take. You ready for this? Just got done watching Star Wars Rise of Skywalker, and all I can say is wow, wow, and wow. It pays homage to all the films and does a great job of wrapping up this epic story. Phenomenal in every way. I'm sure he walked out with a couple lightsabers. Not gonna say where he probably walked out with the extra one, but you can probably take an extra guess on where that was. Here's one you might like. All I can say is, wow! Star Wars Rise of Skywalker is many things. Horrifying, hopeful, violent, low-key, horny, and full of the right kind of fan service. But most of all, it's a fitting ending for this incredible 40-plus year-long saga. Tons of articles have already come out about the first impressions for this movie, and they're all pretty cringy. You can't really trust a lot of these people. There's a few people that have said they were disappointed, but for the most part, they're all stuff like this. Epic, all of it. The Rise of Skywalker is a terrific final that is just stuffed with so much of everything. Action, adventure, answers, humor, heart, love, and grit. I spent the entire second half with tears in my eyes. A wonderful way to end the Skywalker story. By the way, I think Kathleen Kennedy actually was quoted recently saying, well, the Skywalkers might not be done. We can always do what we want, bring them back if we need to. So they don't even know what the hell they're doing. They're totally just selling this movie on that it's going to be the last Star Wars Skywalker story and stuff, trying to get you to go see it. It's just a big marketing thing. I guarantee you they'll bring the name back in time. Watch and see. This one. Oh my God! I'm absolutely blown away. I've never been so satisfied by a film. This is the end of an era and a franchise that has defined my life. And this did it justice in a way I didn't imagine it could. You will cry. And there's some interesting ones like this, by the way. Rise of Skywalker could only have been ruder to Rian Johnson if they had motion smoothed it. And then we got another one. If you love The Last Jedi, I have some bad news for you. If you didn't, then you might be pretty stoked. I've seen Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. It's a lot. There's a lot I like, and some I loved, but overall my feelings are pretty mixed. It felt like an apology for The Last Jedi in some ways, and a sequel to The Force Awakens in many, which I found frustrating. I wonder if it's possible, and you can... I don't know if I'll have to wait till it comes out on, Blu-ray or whatever to try this, but I wonder if you could just skip, if you could just watch Force Awakens and then just go to Rise of Skywalker, and it just makes more sense that way. It's like, oh, here's Luke. Oh, he's just missing now. Last Jedi never happened. And then we'll leave it off with this one because it's a very shillish comment. The Rise of Skywalker is everything I wanted it to be, because there's never been a Star Wars movie like this before. It's dark and scary, but hopeful and beautiful. It ends the trilogy while also ending the saga as a whole. I know I'm rambling, but I worship this movie. So that was fun going over those really cringy takes. A lot of mixed signals, though, even from some shills, which... I gotta say, I found that really surprising. So these were the first of many. Now tomorrow, which will be the 18th, the review embargo lifts. So we'll have a lot of fun going over the reviews. I will surely be spending most of the night reading those, and then Mandalorian Chapter 7 drops that night as well. I'll have a review on that for sure. Absolutely I will. I can't help it. I do like that show. Hopefully it continues to be good. And then, of course, the 19th, the movie will drop for everybody. I have tickets for a 6 o'clock show. And as soon as it is over, I will have my take from the movie out. So it's gonna be a fun week. It's going to be a fun week. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Give me your thoughts on the reactions and the hot takes. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. And as always... I'll see you on the next video. Oh, make sure you share the video. Make sure you leave comments and likes. Those help the video move. They call it engagement points, I guess. And those are what really make your video successful on the platform now. And make sure you check out the links in the description. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out. Also, take a moment, make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. There's something going on right now, and they've been unsubscribing people. So just take a second and double check on that and subscribe if you're new.